Hello and a warm welcome in today's daily news analysis. The important topic for discussion today are number 1, FPO industry linkage, number 2, India and Qatar relations, number 3, green steel, number 4, deposit insurance cover, and number 5, multilingual AI hub. So let's start with today's discussion. The first topic for the day, that is FPO industry linkage. This topic becomes important from GS3. The syllabus point is Indian agriculture and food processing related industries. And the article mentions and it tries to solve the perennial problem of Indian agriculture, which is fragmentation of land. Now, this particular problem, which is fragmentation of land, leads to several other challenges in agriculture, which are reduced technology adoption. The fragmentation of land leads to poor adoption of technology. So, FPOs, that is Farmer Producer Organization, is one of the solutions to solve the problem of fragmented land. So, this article mentions certain solutions so as to address the fragmented land holding through FPOs and how FPOs can be made more efficient. And it mentions a particular dimension, which is linking the FPOs with the industries. So now let's start with the article. Here we have mentioned certain previous year questions which are related to Indian agriculture. Do try to attempt them. First of all, the Farmer Producer Organization. What is a FPO? An FPO is where we group in several farmers together so that they can achieve economies of scale. What is the importance? It wants to empower the small landholder farmer by leveraging collective bargaining and economies of scale. And small and marginal farmers represent 86% of the farmers in India. What are the challenges which one faces in materializing the FPOs? Number 1 is the trained human resource is not available. Effective business model have not yet been developed. Finance and credit to FPOs requires government interventions. Marketing of the products which FPOs produce is also a hindrance. Then food safety. In case a FPO produces a food product, for example a millet cookie, but the safety and the standards with which it was produced, we don't have a standardization mechanism in place. So FPOs need better hand holding in food safety. Then brand building. So one could notice that many of the aspects here are soft aspects. So that is, for example, management related marketing aspects. So we need to develop these things. The FPO industry linkages can be based on 3C strategy. Now the article mentions through 3C strategies, one can establish a strong FPO and industry linkage, and FPO industry linkage will then materialize and make Indian agriculture more productive. So what are the 3Cs? 3Cs are consolidation, capability and capital. Capital infusion will happen through industry linkage, then capability will be increasing through industry linkage again consolidation. Consolidating the land will again help us achieve the economies of scale. The article now mentions what are the solutions and how and which factors should be prioritized so that industry FPO linkage can achieve the desired goal. And what are these? Capital and finance. The article mentions the types of capital like grants, credit, subsidies. These are necessary for growth and expansion of FPOs. What are the challenges? Credit often requires strong business plan, credit history, collateral, making it difficult for FPOs. So FPOs do not have a strong business plan and they don't have a credit history because they are of a recent origin, and then they don't have collateral in place so that they can get credit from the institutional sources. So these are the challenges here. Now what are the solution? Co-lending mechanism between FPOs and industries. That is, a certain part of the loan will be taken by industry and certain part by FPOs. So they can together work here. Then affordable financing for working capital and machinery. Meso level insurance to manage risks related to storage, transport and unpaid farm loans. The second part here is the operations management. Industries can assist FPOs in business planning, marketing analysis and better strategic growth. Financing forecast. So financial forecast is also another term here as in what will be the future demand. So it requires forecasting. So industries can help and signal small and marginal farmers, which are organized through FPOs, to signal demand. So signaling of demand can then allow the FPOs to shift towards high value production, and operational planning aligned with market demands. The technology adoption, this is one of the most important part. Benefits of advanced technology like AI, ICT and blockchain can improve precision farming and supply chain transparency. Industry support such as providing technology driven solutions for better productivity and market access, enhancing supply chain reliability for both industries and FPOs. Then the article talks about capacity building, how capacity building of FPOs can be possible through industry. So tech adaptation, how essential for farmers to adopt new technologies and increase productivity. Technology is one of the tools to increase productivity. And then it talks about skilling. Industry linkage provides training in business, process management and extension advisory services to complement public institutions as well. Now, public institutions are the one who are investing in capacity building of the farmers through Krishi Vigyan Kendra and other initiatives. So here, through linkage between FPOs and the industries, an ecosystem will be encapsulated, and in this ecosystem such extension services will complement the services provided by institutions of public nature such as ICAR, and help FPOs improve skills in management, marketing, technology, enhancing efficiency and market competitiveness. Market linkage, crucial for boosting farmers' income by improving access to markets. Industrial support to FPOs by providing quality inputs, buyer connection, value addition, market intelligence and export opportunities. So through these, FPOs will become a success, and successful FPOs will then transform the Indian agriculture. This linkage will facilitate branding and sales promotion and increase product value and marketability. Then there is the issue of compliance. How can this linkage through compliance improve FPOs? Industry linkages help FPOs navigate tax regulation and food safety standards, promote quality control practices and knowledge sharing to enhance efficiency and productivity. This will ensure legal compliance, market access and consumer trust. So these three are very important keywords, that is legal compliance, market access and consumer trust. And through these three pillars, the FPOs can become a successful business, and this will further then transform the Indian agriculture. The conclusion here for us is, we also have a national policy on FPOs in place. FPOs can be the game changer for the perennial problems which Indian agriculture has been plagued with. So central sector scheme, you can mention this policy as one of the value addition points in your answers. The central sector scheme, the national policy on FPOs has a central sector scheme which aims to empower existing FPOs and establish 50,000 new FPOs. So by focusing on affordable finance, technology, market access and compliance, FPOs can thrive and ensure long-term benefits for both farmers and industries. So by concluding this article encapsulates that linkage between FPOs and industries has several opportunities to be exploited. So one should use this linkage between industry and FPOs as one of the value addition points, and one can suggest what all things we have discussed here. Here we have a practice question. What are FPOs and how do they contribute to improving farmers' income? Discuss the role of industry linkages in enhancing sustainability of FPOs. Please try to answer this question and comment your answer in the comment box below, so that we can also see what all other students have been thinking, and one can compare their own views and use the content which we have discussed liberally in this. Now let's move to the next article. India-Qatar Relations. India has elevated its relationship with Qatar to strategic partnership. Qatar is an important player in the Persian Gulf and larger Middle East. This is the backdrop of the news, and it is relevant for us from international relations perspective. What can be the future questions here are: location of Qatar, any unique fact about Qatar if in place? What is the trade pattern between Qatar and India? How much investment does Qatar make in India? So all these things are important, and three major pillars of India-Qatar relation in the next 5 years would be trade, energy and security ties. It is to be noted that Qatar is one of the largest exporter of LNG, that is liquefied natural gas. So this makes this relationship important. So we should look a bit deeper in the India-Qatar relationship and importance of Qatar as a country. Now, India has strategic partnership with other countries in the Gulf as well. What are these countries? These are Kuwait, Oman, UAE and Saudi Arabia. The focus areas for the relationship as discussed just now are trade, investment, energy, security. It is to be noted that this time there were discussion upon terrorism, cyber security and internal security as well, and cooperation in international forums. India is right now in negotiations with GCC. GCC is Gulf Cooperation Council. We are in discussions with Gulf Cooperation Council for signing an FTA. But parallelly, we are also in discussions with Qatar for elevating the ties, the trade ties to FTA. So these are in negotiations, and we have not yet signed FTAs with Gulf Cooperation Council and Qatar. Both sides in this meet, both sides have aimed to double the bilateral trade to 28 billion. Today, right now, the trade is $14 billion, and Qatar is also a major investor in India, and it invests almost around 1.5 billion in FDI. India-Qatar relations, the economic angle here is the bilateral trade is 14 billion. India imports majorly liquefied natural gas, liquefied petroleum gas, petrochemicals, plastics and aluminium from Qatar. India primarily exports rice, jewelry, cars, refined petroleum and articles of iron and steel to Qatar. This is an important fact to be noted here, which is Qatar accounts for more than 48% of India's LNG imports. So this is an important fact. Now Qatar as a country shares 48% of our imports. So we have to diversify the risk. The future and recommendation here could be that we should look for other sources of liquefied natural gas. And there is a question for you guys here. If I write Asian premium, what do you understand by Asian premium? Do mention it in the comment box. It is a previous year question. Then the defense. India carries out joint naval exercise with Qatar named Zair al-Bahr. India and Qatar also have defense cooperation agreement, and it will be signed between the both nations. Now here we have mentioned a map of Qatar. One can see that it is on the Arabian Peninsula. It is linked with the Arabian Peninsula, but it is not separate from the Arabian Peninsula, just like Bahrain. Bahrain is an island, but Qatar is not an island. Qatar is like a peninsula, and on the one end it is connected with Saudi Arabia, while on the other we find that UAE is also connected to Qatar. So there can be a question that Qatar does not share any boundary with United Arab Emirates, or Qatar only shares boundary with Saudi Arabia. So this can be a question. Then we have also added certain unique facts about Qatar. These are: Qatar has zero forest cover. It is a semi-constitutional monarchy. Qatar has one of the highest urbanized population, which is 99.35%. Then Qatar has lowest female population percentage in the world. Qatar has the world's largest per capita emission of carbon dioxide. Qatar is the richest country in the Middle East by GDP per capita. Indians living in Qatar form the largest expatriate community in Qatar. Qatar is one of the GCC countries. What all are the GCC countries? Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates. Point to be noted is Iraq, Iran are not part of Gulf Cooperation Council. So one should note these things. Here we have mentioned a practice question. So please do attempt this question and let us know the answer in the comment box below. Now we'll move to the next article. The next article here is green steel. Steel is one of the most energy intensive sector, and because it is energy intensive, it requires coal as a reducing agent in its production. So because of this, it emits carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. It is said that steel as a sector is responsible for 8% of annual greenhouse gas emissions. So one should aim and countries should cooperate to decarbonize the sector, and it is very difficult to decarbonize this sector. And if we have pathways through which we can manufacture steel without having a carbon intensive pathway, then that steel is known as green steel. So the context of the article is Japan as a country has recently introduced subsidies for manufacturing of green steel, and specifically in the context of EU having CBAM, which is Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. It will increase taxes and penalties for energy or carbon intensive sectors. So market access will be impacted if we don't shift to green steel. So what are the methods through which green steel is produced? Does green hydrogen have a role to play here? These are the major themes here. Backdrop is Japan, the world's third largest steel and vehicle producer, has recently announced new policies with respect to green steel. And green steel has been in news for around 2 years now. This makes it more important that a particular theme or particular idea has been in news for 2 to 3 years, and now I feel the time is ripe for this idea to be in the question paper. So please do prepare this and take whatever valuable information we have in this session. About the news, that is Japan's steel sector is more polluting than US, EU, Chinese steel sector. Why? Because US, EU and China have shifted towards using electric arc furnaces, whereas Japan still uses blast furnace, and blast furnace uses coal. So the Ministry of Economy in Japan has recently announced new policies that may provide incentive to both consumers, manufacturers and steel makers. Now we have information about the steel in India. The process used in India is mostly using blast furnace and electric arc furnace. Here we use electricity to reduce the iron, whereas here we use carbon, that is coal. So both of the processes are energy intensive, both have greenhouse gas footprint. So as per World Economic Forum data, India produces 6.1% of the world's steel. India is the second largest crude steel producer in the world with production capacity of around 180 million tons, and the world's largest producing capacity of sponge iron at 55 million tons. The emission intensity of steel produced in India is 2.54 CO2 per ton of crude steel. It is significantly higher than the global average of 1.91. So now we will move on. What is green steel? Green steel refers to low emission steel produced using environmentally sustainable methods, including renewable energy. Using renewable energy, we use electric arc furnace. Green hydrogen is used as a reducing agent, using green hydrogen instead of coal. Carbon capture, that is the CO2 emitted during production of the steel is captured and stored, and increasing use of scrap metal, that is already available steel is recycled. So the Ministry of Steel has come up with a roadmap and action plan for greening the steel sector. So this is what India has been doing. There is a green steel mission, a 15,000 crore initiative to promote low carbon steel production, includes PLI scheme for green steel and incentive for renewable energy. So this is from the document of Ministry of Steel, which is roadmap and action plan. What should be the action plans for greening of the steel sector? Then National Green Hydrogen Mission. So the green hydrogen produced in India will then be used in the steel sector. And this is the relevance of green hydrogen as well. We have other pathways, other methods to greening of other sectors, but cement, metallurgy, steel, these are hard to abate sectors. It is here that we will be requiring green hydrogen. For example, in the vehicles, to tackle vehicular emissions, we have e-vehicles, and e-vehicles can be without green hydrogen as well. So green hydrogen is not mandatory in e-vehicles, but in these hard to abate sectors, green hydrogen's usage becomes very important, because it is only through green hydrogen that we can sustainably green the sectors which are hard to abate. For example, cement, steel and metallurgical sectors like smelting of copper, aluminium. So all these sectors will require green hydrogen. Here we have mentioned other initiatives like green public procurement, as in encouraging the public agencies, the public sector undertakings also, to procure more metals and steel. For example, if one has to procure for infrastructure from green methods. Then energy efficiency and renewable energy, as government has an aim for 45% renewable energy penetration. So there should be best available technologies which should be supported, and greening the sector will also make it more energy efficient, and renewable energy which is generated in India and can be utilized as well in greening the sector. So here we have a question for you guys. Please do answer the question and let us know the answer in the comment box below. The next article is deposit insurance cover. Recently, a bank has failed in India, and the depositors of that bank, the holders of money in that bank, will get their money back, and there is a statutory limit to which the amount can be given back to the depositors. So this article is about that, and deposit insurance has a very important relevance in money and banking pillar, and there are chances that question can be asked from this segment. So government is considering raising bank deposit insurance beyond 5 lakh to enhance depositor protection, and this is relevant from Indian economy from prelims point of view. So what is deposit insurance? Deposit insurance protects depositors from losing their money in case of bank failure. It is provided by Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. It is a division of RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. The premium for deposit insurance is borne by the insured bank. It covers, this is a segment from where question can come. It covers number 1, commercial banks, number 2, local area banks, number 3, regional rural banks, and it also covers cooperative banks and foreign banks operating in India, and only primary cooperative societies are excluded from this. And here what all is insured: savings account, fixed account, current account and recurring deposits, but it excludes deposits by foreign central and state governments and interbank deposits. So these 2 points are more important from the exam perspective. We can see questions from these segments. Now here we don't have a direct information which can be asked in the examination, but here what are the things which are in proposal for the government? There is a statutory limit of 5 lakh. So the current government is planning to increase this limit per depositor per bank who is covered under the deposit insurance. The government is considering to increase the limit. The announcement has come after RBI took action against New India Cooperative Bank. New India Cooperative Bank case. So here we have discussed the news. There has been a discovery of fraud, and RBI inspection has found discrepancies in their cash records, and the prime suspect here is Hitesh Mehta. The alleged theft period is 2019 to 2025. What has the action of RBI been? RBI has placed limits in the bank investing outside, purchasing land, and there will be more supervision over the banking's operation. and the RBI has superseded the board of directors. No new loans, advances, investment without RBI approval, no fresh deposits as well. And here the practice question for this news item. Please do attempt the question and let us know the answer in the comment box below, and enhance your knowledge and learn from other students' mistakes. Now, the final topic for today is Multilingual AI Hub. Artificial intelligence is an emerging theme, and this is important from science and technology perspective. Recently, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology released Digital Brand Identity Manual to create a cohesive, compelling brand presence for the government. Information and Broadcast Ministry has developed AI Hub to disseminate information on government schemes. Now, we know that one of the important segments of government schemes is their promotion, their awareness generation. So, awareness campaigns are then organized for spread of the information about the scheme. So, we are now employing AI in that, and this can be used as an example in governance in GS2 and GS4. Starting with the article, the Union government is revamping its official websites and developing an AI hub to streamline information dissemination on government initiatives. MITI has released a digital brand identity manual to establish a standardized design language for government website. What is the aim? To harmonize the government's digital footprint and to create a cohesive brand. Multilingual AI Hub. The platform will have the facility for multilingual translation of content of an effective outreach to the masses across the country. So, India is a multilingual country. English is not spoken by everyone and not even understood. So, if we could do real-time translation, so this can help in expanding the reach of the government schemes and programs. So, that is why this multilingual AI hub can be a very important game changer. So, what are other such initiatives such as Digital India Bhashini, a language translation platform, Bharat Gen, the world's first government funded multimodal large language model initiative. It was launched in 2024. Then there is Sarvam AI large language model, Chitralekha, an open source video transcreation platform, Everest 1.2. It is a multilingual AI system that caters to various Indian languages. So, these are recent initiatives in which the government has inculcated artificial intelligence. So, you can use these as examples also, you can build your awareness about these initiatives. Then the practice question, Bharat Gen recently seen in news is related to what? So, please answer this question and let us know the answer in the comment box below. That's all for today's daily news analysis. I hope you must have liked the discussion. Please do share and subscribe the channel and let us know if there is any feedback in the comment box below. Thank you and have a good day.